Paltrocast.
Do I have the demon assassin speaking with me right now?
If you can hear us, then yes.
I can see you and I can hear you. And I have to say it is an honor and a pleasure to be speaking to the demon assassin. Is your day going okay?
This is a good start, Ross. All right. It is an honor indeed. The day's going all right. The hellhounds have been a little bit frisky lately, but we've got them under control now.
Well, I have to apologize in advance. I know humans are lesser of a form than you like to speak with. So hence my extra appreciation for your time right here. And
there's not a lot of option in this realm, really. It's humans or what?
You want to get the word out to the humanoids and consider me a conduit to all that. And
perfect.
Big match you have coming up at Against All Odds against the Virtuosa. Any different training for this match than normal?
Oh, how about training of learning from your mistakes? And that's something that a lot of humans seem to have trouble with, but the demon assassin never makes excuses for a mistake. And the last time Diona was in the ring with us, she did get the upper hand. And that a lot of that came from the fact that a very timely referee pull from a certain Kimberly at outside what's the word for it? Nullified the effects of the Red Wedding. That was our mistake. We cannot fault her for taking every avenue possible to win a match. That's exactly what we would do. And we didn't. We did not keep an eye on what was going on outside. And we should have. We should have known Kimberly and or Susan were going to pull some sort of shenanigans. This time we'll be watching. If they're out there, if not, if she does not choose to go the honorable route and face us one-on-one, we know they're out there. And we do have 2 death dealers waiting in the wings if necessary.
Wow. Okay. So I'm learning that referee etiquette is universal. It's not for humans. Correct? Correct. So bad refereeing in your world is bad refereeing in our world. Okay.
Oh, it wasn't really his fault now. He will be punished, of course. There's no escaping.
There you go. Well, this event is called Against All Odds. Any idea if there's a Phil Collins reference in that pay-per-view title?
Who's Phil Collins?
Okay, that's a fair assessment right there. I did want to ask you to see what music that you do listen to in your world. We're going to come back to that later. But
right.
Decay, you're all up for championship titles in the near future.
Yes.
Is that something that you guys all coordinated?
No, it really sort of landed in our laps, and we never questioned the will of fate. Whatever she decides to throw at us, we will take and run with it and see where it goes. Often she knows best. And it happened to be that fate landed a Knockouts championship opportunity with the Demon Assassin and Impact Tag Team Championship opportunity for Crazy Steve and Black Taurus. Now, that kind of thing is very exciting, isn't it? A championship team of Decay heading forward. Oh, this year could be much better than the last year.
Yeah, well, the name Crazy Steve, do you have a problem with that? Because we're calling him Crazy Steve, but isn't that a little condescending from the humans?
You call him Crazy Steve. We call him Steve, really.
Steve, yes. That's what I'm getting at. I thought it maybe is a little bit unfair, but I didn't know if actually the crazy thing is a good thing in your world. And we're just looking at it wrong.
Humans do tend to oversimplify things. And Steve is a wild child, if we could put it in terms that would be understood. He's always been one who's a little bit off the wall, a little bit askew in his ideas and his actions. Now, in the human world, it'd be labeled as crazy. To us, he's just Steve.
Not fair. Well, if we see all gold all around in Decay, does that change anything for all of you? Does that mean that the bar is just set so high that the whole world is different?
It means we go after more. It means we've got people gunning for us. It means more battles. It means more war. It means all eyes on Decay. There's absolutely nothing more exciting than the fact that absolutely everybody wants to fight you.
Okay. Well, as an inspirational person's not the right word. As an inspirational demon, I'm curious where all your energy comes from. Is it coffee or is it your local equivalent of coffee?
Oh, yes. You humans obsessed with this energy potion. We don't need that. Our energy comes from, well, the shadow for one. The shadow imbibes us with all of the energy that we need, all of the dark energy that we draw from the shadow realm to keep us manifested and strong in this human realm, but also from the hive. And while throughout this pandemic that you've been suffering in the earth realm, while we haven't been able to physically interact with the hive, they are always with us and present, and we could hear them through the Nexus core, as we refer to it. But their voices are always with us, and just because we can't see them or you can't see them, we've been able to hear them throughout this entire thing. And that is, we draw a lot of energy and a lot of battle. The kind of nutrients, I guess you could call it, not necessarily for the body, but for the mind and for the spirit to take you into battle.
Interesting. Well, Nashville is a city that you spent a lot more time in last year and this year than any other phase in the life that I know. I think that biologically, your age here is centuries or millenniums less than your actual age. I have that correct? Thousands of years old. Okay. So you spent a lot of time in Nashville in the recent past. Is that one of the better American human cities for you to deal with? Do they have more for you and your people?
Well, it's difficult to say. Obviously, this time has been very shut down. So we haven't experienced Nashville in its full capacity, to the extent, well, that we have spent about as much time there with Impact as we did in Orlando when we first arrived. And it does sort of feel like a home, which is dangerous, really. You never want to get settled. You never want to get overly comfortable, especially when you deal in battles. Settling means you're not paying attention. Settling means you're not being on the edge, not ready for anything. And that is what touring used to do for Impact Wrestling. You had to know that the different cities were going to have different energy, and you had to be on the edge. With Nashville, and the fact that it's been rather repetitive, not necessarily in a negative way, but the fact that there hasn't been a change, there hasn't been a difference, it's easy to settle, it's easy to get used to a routine, and that's dangerous. And we lust to be back on the road to keep up with the ever-changing tide of the fans and of the hivelings and of the world itself, really, and the different circumstances it could present.
Do you have a favorite of the North American cities that you have to deal with? Is Winnipeg your favorite, for example?
No, it's a bit chilly up there. We've had a lot of success in the Chicago area. It's always been a very what could we say, hotbed for professional wrestling. We've had a lot of experience there throughout Shimmer, and also Impact Wrestling had Bound for Glory there one year, which was a very exciting and an incredibly energy-filled event. Chicago is always exciting to visit. There's always a lot of bloodthirsty fans in attendance, and we definitely like to be able to perform for them.
Well, trying to know the legend that I'm speaking with, beyond the wrestling world, I'm curious, what kind of music does a demon assassin listen to? If not Phil Collins.
Is he some sort of king?
To some people, he is. To people like progressive rock and roll music or bad ballads, I think he is a king. Yes. Interesting.
Oh, well, we do enjoy a ballad, a good ballad for battle. The minstrels of the Shadow Quarter are very good at that. But honestly, we prefer the sound of war drums.
So is Gene Simmons a rock and roll icon who people call the Demon? Is he lesser than you because you're the demon assassin?
No. Lesser is a very difficult term to define. Gene Simmons, we actually do know, because he is one who is possessed with one from our realm, and has made a wonderful career of it. Seems to accept humans a little bit more than we do, which is fine. Personal preference, obviously, but he's gotten settled in this realm.
Understandably. So he might have sold out within this realm. Got it. Oh. He'd cash in his demon ideals for something more comfortable. I understand. Well,
he used what he had at hand and made a career out of it. We can't fault him for that.
Fair question. Well, two more quick questions, and then you're free from this, human interaction. I get it, it's not fun. The first one is, you have great merchandise online with your old friend, the Bunny. Are we going to see more merchandise and more opportunities from you in the future?
Oh, absolutely. We're always thinking of ways to be able to get more interesting and diversified relics out to the hivelings. They're chomping at the bit, so it's demanding new demon assassin merchandise. And demonxbunny.com has a wide array of different things that you can acquire with the demon's beautiful face on it.
Duh, I think so. And then my last question is, you were locked up just like a lot of us were, because, whether you're a human, whether you're a demon, they wouldn't just let you outside for a lot of this year and last year.
It is a human meat suit.
Human meat suit, yes. Were there any television programs that were Demon Assassin approved over the last year or two?
Well, we did spend a lot of time glitching back and forth into the shadow realm because it was just terribly boring to spend time here when nothing was happening. But at the same time, television shows, you're talking about passing the time. You're talking about trying to overcome boredom. Whereas we spent a lot of the time, because humans weren't running about and getting in our way and getting underfoot, this was the time for strategizing. This was the time for setting up the pieces all across the board so that when the world opened up again, we would be more ready than everyone else who had just sat down snacking and getting soft.
Got it. So you did not like the show What We Do in the Shadows?
Well, admittedly, it was amusing.
The bottom line is this: you're an inspiration to many forms of humans and life forms, and best of luck at Against All Odds. Hope to see you have some championship gold very soon.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Paltrocast.